Happy Monday once again. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. You guys that tuned in with me a little bit earlier on, I really appreciate you tuning in with me. I was kind of waiting around to see if Carson Sneed would commit tonight as we had a little bit of a impromptu change of plans tonight. But Sneed did indeed commit after it went off the air. It was a little bit after 8 o'clock. Got the news that he has committed to Tennessee as we expected tonight. Gives Tennessee their second commitment for 2026. They're already, according to On3, up to 13th in the country. According to 24/7, they're up to 13th in the country. I'll have to pull up the On3 ranking here as we're talking. But Sneed adds, as I'm seeing on here from your analysts from 24/7 and from On3, they're both pretty much about the same on it. He's ranked a 4-star tight end. They're saying he's more – his size right now, about 6'5.5", 230, 240, depending on where you see it, with the potential to add up to, to be 260 or more. So they say more of his game is going to be for 24/7. Andrew Ivins, 24/7, said that he's looking at him more as an inline tight end, a guy who can play with his, or I'm sorry, Andrew Ivins. I hope I said that right. I may have said the wrong name, but said he's a valuable asset, especially as teams try to line up and run the ball with multiple tight end sets. Now, Carson Sneed is a different tight end than what they have recruited for 2025 with Van Dorselaer and with Faizon Brandon in the fold. These guys are guys who can vertically, especially Brandon, can vertically impact the game. Sneed, on the other hand, is a guy, they say, play with his hand on the ground, has played some left tackle, could play some defense as well. I think his projection is definitely tight end. That's where he's ranked. That's where they have him rated right now. I don't know that he puts on enough weight to be a tackle. It is possible, though, with him being in that 230 to 240 range. We have seen it before at Tennessee for guys to beef up that much. But to me, based on the size that Glenn Ellerby's looking at and playing, it almost seems to me like Sneed would be too small for a tackle. So looking at what he does, a guy who can go across the middle, who can make that play, a guy who can block, who can do those types of things. Could he play if Tennessee incorporated like an H-back? What does Tennessee do with short yardage situations? Those are the type of things I'm really interested in to see what they could do with him. Of course, like I said, second guy for 2026 and 3 days, too, as a matter of fact. Number one player, according to 24/7, Faizon Brandon in the fold. On3 has Tennessee up to 16th. Now, 2 commits. Their average player ranking 93.011. According to that, looking on 3, that's currently number one. That average score based on it is number one. That's on 3. And then on 24/7, I had that up a minute ago. We pull it back up. So they have, well, theirs is going by like a total points. Because right now they have Tennessee at 51.12 average. Okay, go. Their average player rating on 24/7 of Faizon Brandon and Carson Sneed is 95.63. They've actually got Texas. I don't understand. I guess I'm kind of confused on these 24/7 rankings because this must be the composite. So because their actual 24/7 rankings has Brandon number one, but on here it says they have 2 4-star commitments. But anyway you look at it, your analysts and stuff, very high on Faizon Brandon. They've said good things about Carson Sneed as well, adding him to the fold, what he adds to the table, what he brings to it. And this program, man, they just keep doing their thing. And here's your analysis on 3. It says Charles Power. He said, I think for starters, he has a large frame at 6'5.5", over 230 pounds, heading into his junior season. So we got to keep that in mind as well. This guy has 2 more seasons to play college football. I think just from an overall skill perspective, he looks like a future inline tight end who is going to be his best at line up his hand on the ground, playing attached. And he said, I think when you look at what he brings to the table as a receiving option, And just with his overall size and upside as a blocker, I think he certainly projects at best as an inline tight end and is probably at his most comfortable working across the middle of the field using his body to shield defenders in contested catch situations. Does say he's effective working off of play action. I think he shows the ability to go up and get the ball at its highest point in jump ball scenarios. And it says, and I think he has some solid run after the catch ability as well. He's going to have no problem continue to put on weight, and he could see him playing at 260 pounds. As far as what he brings to the Tennessee offense, Charles Power says, so I think when you look at kind of what he brings to the Tennessee offense, I think this is a guy who's going to be, assuming he continues to improve physically and adjust to the uptick in competition. I think he is the guy who has the potential to project as a plus runner and a guy who can provide a physical presence in the run game while having the ability to work off play action and win when he draws favorable matchups and coverage. And lastly, he says this is a nice pickup for Tennessee. Obviously, one of the top in-state prospects in the 2026 cycle. And this is a guy, when you look at what he brings to the table at this point to us, looks most ideal as an attached big end line tight end. Looking forward to how he plays as a junior at Donaldson Christian. And, of course, Tennessee continues to build momentum in recruiting. So Alec Ablin continues to absolutely kill it on the recruiting trail right now. Going back to the portal and going forward, this guy's hitting on all cylinders, what he's doing. There was a lot of criticism for him last year for missing out on some targets along the way. But this cycle, when they got into recruiting, their number one guy was Holden Stays out of Notre Dame, added him to the fold. They did add Cole Harrison out of California. They added the tight end transfer from Alabama. And you look at what they've done this cycle. Van Dorselaer from Texas, Deshaun Brame from the Midwest area, who originally committed to Oregon, flipped his commitment. He looks perfect for what they like to do with this offense, a guy who can do multiple mismatches with how he stretches the field. And I showed some film on him after he committed, and just what he does, man, is a next level tight end, especially in today's pro game, a guy who can be a real weapon in that game. Now you add Carson Sneed to the equation. They're in on other tight ends I've seen them mentioned with as well. Ablin is doing an excellent job right now in recruiting. And it is saying Tennessee beat out Auburn, Ohio State, and Ole Miss for him. And, we'll see where they go from there. I know Tennessee did get a little bit of disappointing news, and it was kind of, I don't know on this. I don't know what happened on this one. So if you look at 2026, you pull these back up again. I will look at the state for this cycle. As a matter of fact, let me look at those player rankings. So if I look at state of Tennessee 2026, here we go. Let's see. Let's go to Tennessee. Jared Curtis is the number one guy, 5-star quarterback committed to Georgia. Zach Groves, number 2, 4-star defensive end out of Cross Plains. Caden Harris, a corner, 4-star out of Brownsville. Now, Groves is projected to Tennessee. Harris is projected to Ole Miss. Carson Sneed, number 4. This is according to On3. Number 4. I just wonder what's going on in Knoxville here. Tyreek King. And maybe Tennessee's not involved here. 4-star wide receiver, Knox Catholic, Louisville, Michigan. Joel Wyatt, 4-star wide receiver, Bell Buckle, Tennessee, Vandy, pretty close. Chaston Smith out of Knoxville, 6'1", 145 corner, Ole Miss, Michigan. Shavar Young, cornerback out of Knoxville, commits to Clemson. Gabriel Osenda, Clearwater, Florida. Why is he listed in Tennessee? Oh, he's going to Baylor School. So he's projected to right now, Florida. We'll see where they go with that. Keyshawn Snyder, Macaulay School, Chattanooga, Tennessee is currently projected according to On3 to them. So, other than that, in this site, I see Justin Hopkins, a corner out of Nashville, 58% according to On3. You go on down the line based on who is on there. Tennessee's not favored for many in-state guys right now, but there's a long way to go. There's 2 years to go in that cycle. Can they change that around? Shavar Young was it was a surprise. I don't know what the deal was with Tennessee and him. Does Tennessee continue to pursue him? But, Clemson's got their thing. If you take visits, they'll cut you. And I think it's a risky strategy, but it seems to pay off. When they get guys in the fold, you rarely see flips from Clemson. And, I think Clemson's strategy is still going to catch up with them very soon. But, I guess as long as it continues to work with that, with the portal and all, they'll keep doing their thing. But their lack of hitting the portals, it's going to catch up to them. It's not a matter of if, it's when. It's already catching up a little bit. I think it's going to continue to set them further behind. I expect them to take another step back this year, as frankly, I don't think they're developing players like they were. They've lost some good assistant coaches, and you go back to Philip Fulmer days, and when he lost David Cutcliffe, what happened? Just for example. But we'll wrap up on that one. Carson Sneed's in the boat. Recruiting keeps rolling. The big one is less than 2 weeks away. David Sanders Jr., 12:30, August 17th. By all looks and things, Tennessee's looking in pretty good shape on that one. Actually, really good shape. So I still say it would, to me, be a surprise if he does not pick Tennessee. Have a great evening. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. You share it out. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you like the content, hit that subscribe. Down the bottom right corner, if you want to say thanks, there is the super thanks option as well. There's also membership tiers, $2.99, $4.99, $9.99. And there is a Patreon link, which will be in the description of the video as well. $1 a month. If you just want to put that in to help the channel, be greatly appreciated as well. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Have a great evening, and go Vols.